In other situations with a special warranty deed, a seller or grantor, they can't guarantee that there weren't any title defects before they took possession. They do, however, guarantee that during the time that they owned the property, all was shipshape. Here are guarantees offered with a special warranty deed. The grantee has the legal right to transfer ownership. The property had no encumbrances during the grantor's period of ownership. There were no outstanding claims or liens when the grantee held title. Quitclaim deed. A quitclaim deed offers the lowest level of protections, but they're still very common. Here's what to look out for with quitclaim deeds. Quitclaim deeds provide no warranties that the property is free from liens or other claims against the property. Do not certify that the property is free of encumbrances. Do not guarantee that the grantee legally owns the property. No guarantee is made that the grantee has the legal ability to transfer title. While these deeds are risky, they are useful in many cases, especially when transferring property between close family members. Here are situations for which quitclaim deeds would normally be used. Transferring title between family members. Transferring property to a trust, removing a spouse from the title after divorce, and court order for a quitclaim. When there is no exchange of money between family, etc. Curing small title defects such as a misspelled name. When the grantor wants no liabilities. When the grantor is unsure of the status of the title. So, let's review differences between deeds. General warranty deeds offer the highest protection for grantees, while special warranty deeds offer limited protection, and quitclaim deeds offer the lowest level of protections. General warranty deeds give the accepting party guarantees of a clean title during and before their period of ownership. Special warranty deeds provide warranties for only the period of time that the grantor held title, and quitclaims essentially offer the grantee no protection. We're eForms, the biggest database of online documents. Get started on your real estate deed today by accessing our website, where you can find free and state-specific professional templates.
All right, guys. So what did we just learn? We learned that you have a title and you have a deed, okay? The title is what's used in the public to represent that you have ownership, and the deed is the actual receipt that you actually do have ownership of the physical manifestation of the land, of the property, okay? And then when it comes to the deeds, we can write up many different types of deeds, but there are three main deeds that we use in America at this time. Okay, the special warranty deed, the warranty deed, and the quitclaim deed. The warranty deed is the best protection, the best deed you could have, highlighting that you have absolute, unwavering ownership of the property. And the quitclaim deed is that you might own the property or you might not. It gives no guarantee or warranty that you own the property, right? So what we're gonna look at now is all the main types of deeds. We're gonna try to find as many as we can, and if you're in a class and not on YouTube, you'll see I'm gonna show you guys. We're gonna Google all the different types of deeds. All right, but we're gonna watch a video on it first.
And you need to know these for your real estate licensing exam. Very important. Now, understand, just a little review here. I did another video that outlined the basics of deeds and what contents or what essential elements must be in a deed for it to be valid. If you have not previewed that video, please go and watch that video before you go to this video. And I'm going to leave a link right up here in your upper right-hand corner of your screen. That's a link to the video. Watch that one, then come back to this one. And if you've watched that video, you will have learned that the deed is the proof or the evidence of a transfer of title or a conveyance of title. The other thing that the deed does, it represents the quality of the legal interest, what we call the quality of the estate. The type of deed determines, quite frankly, the quality of the estate. And you're going to find out what that exactly means in the video here. So I got a PowerPoint ready to go. So let's go over the computer and we'll go through the different types of deeds. All right, so let's jump to the different types of deeds that you're going to have to know if you want to pass your real estate licensing exam. Now, the first type of deed I'm going to talk about is what's called a general warranty deed, or sometimes called just simply a warranty deed. Now, the grantor guarantees the grantee title. Now, remember, the grantor is the seller or the person that's conveying title, and the grantee is the person that's receiving the title, usually the buyer. All right, so the general warranty deed does a lot of things, and you really got to know the breakdown and the contents of this deed. Number one, it conveys, remember, conveyance simply means transfer. It conveys the highest and most complete ownership. The grantor also guarantees free, clear, marketable title, even for title issues that pop up prior to their ownership. And it also includes certain warranties. All right, the first type of warranty I want to talk about is quiet enjoyment. And as you can see, I put the definition to all of these warranties on your screen. Quiet enjoyment is a covenant that promises that the grantee or the tenant of an estate in real property will be able to possess the premises with peace, without any disturbances by hostile claimants, meaning they're going to be able to enjoy that property without a previous owner basically making a claim against their interest in that property. Number two, covenant of season. Now, this covenant promises that no one else has any conflicting promissory interest, either present or future. It's basically saying that when the grantor uses this deed to transfer or convey title, that they're assuring the grantee that there's going to be no one that pops up that says, hey, this is my property, or I have some ownership interest in this property. Number three, free from...
Hey guys, in Mastermind, again, if you guys have any questions or need to stop, take a break or anything, just let me know, okay? All right.
Encumbrances, meaning...
Just unmute your mic and speak, because I can't see you guys if you raise your hand or anything like that. Unmute your mic and speak.
Free and clear refers to the ownership without any legal encumbrances such as a lien or a mortgage. Basically says that, hey, grantee, you're going to receive the title to this property free and clear of all liens and encumbrances. Number four, the right to convey title. This means the grantor has the legal right and is legally entitled to transfer the property to the grantee. Number five, covenant of further assurances. It's basically a promise that upon demand by the grantee, the grantor will execute any additional documents in the future should it be necessary to fix any defects in the grantee's title. Now, this does happen occasionally, and typically it's an administrative error. There was a misspelling on the deed, or there was an incorrect legal description or non-complete legal description, those type of things. And if the grantor is giving a general warranty deed or a warranty deed to the grantee, then they make this affirmation, they make a promise that if there's a future issue, they will correct it. And then the last one is covenant of warranty. We call this indemnification. This is basically a guarantee to the grantee the title will always be good, and that the grantor will compensate the grantee if there is any issues that are found later after closing. You know, if there's a title defect or a lien against the property, those type of things. It's indemnification. It's the grantor is saying, I will make the grantee whole from any financial loss. So that is a general warranty deed. It guarantees, the grantor is guaranteeing good title. The next deed I want to talk about is a special warranty deed. The special warranty deed basically does all the same stuff that a general warranty deed. It guarantees title. It has all the warranties, but there is one exception. The seller or the grantor is only saying, I will give all of these guarantees only during the period in which I owned the property. Unlike the warranty deed, where the grantor is giving that guarantee all the way back, even during the prior ownership. The special warranty deed just says that it's only going to, the grantor is only going to make those guarantees during that grantor's period of ownership. By the way, banks overwhelmingly use the special warranty deed when they are selling bank foreclosed properties.
Hi, it's Laura Trump. This election will be decided by just a handful of votes in a handful of states.
Giving is part of God's law, so it's showing us the way to love people.
The next deed is the grant deed. Now, the grant deed looks a lot like the warranty deed. The difference is the grantor is not guaranteeing title, they're implying. It's basically an opinion. They're saying, listen, I will give you all of these things because I am implying that I have all these things to give you. I'm only doing this or giving you the implication of good title during my time of ownership. But the one thing that it does lack is the guarantee. That's why we want to make sure that if we're going to receive as a grantee, if we're going to receive title to property using a grant deed, we want to make sure that we have an abstract updated or that we have title insurance. A bargain and sale deed. Now, a bargain and sale deed offers absolutely no warranties or indemnification. And unlike the quit claim deed, which we're going to talk about next, the grantors do acknowledge that they have ownership. They just don't know how much. So they're saying, listen, I know I have some ownership interest. And I know I possess ownership interest, but I don't know what the quality is or how much. But I do have some, and you can have it. And there's no guarantee of clear, free, marketable title. So if you receive ownership or the interest of a grantor that used a bargain and sale deed, you could literally be getting ownership to property that has all kinds of liens and encumbrances against it. A quit claim deed. Now, a quit claim deed, again, offers no warranties. The grantors do not acknowledge that they even have any type of ownership interest in the property. There's no guarantee of free, clear, marketable title. And they basically just say, listen, I think I might have ownership, but I don't even know that for sure. But if I do, then here you go, you can have it. There's an old wives' tale that said somebody one time in New York quit claimed their interest in the Brooklyn Bridge. And the grantee discovered that, well, the grantor absolutely had no ownership interest whatsoever in the Brooklyn Bridge, so there was no conveyance of any title. And it was perfectly legal to do, because the quit claim deed is not acknowledging they even have ownership. And it's kind of interesting because if you ever bought a railroad-owned property, they use the quit claim deed to convey title. So you'd want to make sure that you get a title search done and title insurance for sure. All right, so another use of the quit claim deed, it's commonly used in divorce proceedings where spouse A is awarded the property through the divorce proceedings, and spouse B then uses a quit claim deed to transfer their ownership interest to spouse A. And it's also used in some jurisdictions to correct any kind of discrepancies that are found on the previous deed that conveyed title. For example, maybe an inaccurate legal description. A gift deed. A gift deed is unique to those that are conveying title to property by gift. So if you're going to gift a piece of property to a nonprofit, let's say your church, in that case you would use a gift deed. The interesting thing about the gift deed, and it's unique to the gift deed, and that is the consideration part of the deed. Now, from previous videos, if you've watched them, you know that consideration is an essential element of not only the deed, but also the contract. And it basically means, the consideration means that there's an offer of something of value. Typically it's money. It doesn't have to be. It could be a pound of dirt. It could be diamonds, stocks. Most of the time it's money, but it's something of value. And in most deeds, that's expressed in the deed as money in the amount of typically $1. That's the most common dollar amount. If a gift deed is used, then basically the consideration paragraph is going to say, for the love and affection of, for the love and affection of a son or daughter, for the love and affection of my church. And that's actually how it'll be worded. And it's very unique to the gift deed. The deed of surrender. It's used in place of a quitclaim deed to convey interest of a life estate or a remainderman's interest. So if 123 Main Street, there is a life estate in place. There's a person, the life tenant, that's there living in the property. They have ownership interest, and there is also a remainderman who has a future ownership interest. Well, let's say everybody agrees to sell that property to somebody else. So to convey the interest of the life tenant and also the remainderman who has the future interest, then we'll use a deed of surrender. Now, if you don't understand what a life estate is, up in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, I'm going to leave a link to a video where you can watch the video that talks about what a life estate is and how that works. Deed of release, we use this when a mortgage that's being used as collateral is paid in full. It clears the title from that debt. It's called a deed of release. Correction deed. Now, you need to know that a correction deed can also be called a reformation deed or a deed of confirmation. The real estate licensing exam may use those three terms interchangeably. And we use a correction deed to correct any errors, such as misspelled names on the deed that was used to convey title, errors in the legal description, or some other omission on the deed that was used to convey title from the grantor to the current grantee. Cession deed. This is specifically used to transfer title of street rights from a developer or subdivider to a governmental entity such as a county or a state. So when a developer goes in and they develop a subdivision, now at some point the county or the city is going to come in and take over control of those streets, maintenance, snow plowing, all of that stuff. So we got to have a way to transfer that title interest, and a cession deed is used to transfer the street rights from the subdivider to that governmental entity. Sheriff's deed, also known as a referee's deed. A sheriff's deed is used to transfer title for real estate or real property that's been sold at public auction. All right, so typically we see this in mortgage states, not deed of trust states, but mortgage states, where the bank needs to foreclose on a property because the borrower defaulted. It goes to a sheriff's sale, and the sheriff auctions off the property on behalf of the bank. All right, so title in that property transfers by way of a public auction. Now, because the sheriff is acting on behalf of the benefit, or on behalf of the public, for the benefit of the public, there are no warranties or representations of the condition of the title. So whoever purchased that property, they're going to get a sheriff's deed, and there may be all kinds of liens attached to that property. So typically, if you go to a sheriff's auction, the people that do this regularly, they have relationships with title companies and abstract companies, and they will research the title before they actually even go to the auction. That's typically what happens. But buyer beware. If you show up and you think you get a good deal, you may end up getting property that's liened up. A tax deed. Now, again, with a tax deed and the sheriff's deed, there are no warranties or representations to the condition of the title. So investors are going to need to do their research before going to the tax deed auction. Personal representative or executor's deed. This is when somebody dies and there's a personal representative or an executor of the state that is tasked with selling off the property. So if there is a property that's sold and title transfers, a personal representative deed or an executor's deed is going to be used. And technically, this is considered a judicial deed because the executor or the personal representative is signing the deed under the approval of the court. So that's why it's called a judicial deed. All right, let's take a look at bullet point number 3 because it's very unique to these deeds right here. The deed requires the deed to state the full purchase price. Now, in the consideration part of the deed, we have to list what the consideration was in exchange for the conveyance of title. Almost always it's $1. That's what we put in there. But because this is an executor's deed or a personal representative deed, we actually have to put the full amount of the purchase price. And the reason we have to do that is because of the estate tax provisions or the estate tax requirement. So it's the only deed that absolutely requires the full purchase price to be put in the deed under the consideration section of that deed. Guardian's deed, if there is a minor that has ownership interest in land, or real property, I should say, and for whatever reason, that title needs to be conveyed to somebody else, a minor does not have the legal capacity to do that. And if there's a legal guardian in place, then the legal guardian's going to sign on behalf of that minor, and the type of deed that's going to be used is a guardian's deed. And then the last one is the director's deed. We use the director's deed to convey interest in real property. When a public agency or a public entity sells off surplus land that governmental body owns, they're going to use a director's deed. Don't. The other thing that the real estate licensing exam likes to ask are questions that want you to solicit scenarios, meaning for this scenario, what type of deed is best? And I use the term best because there may be two potentially right answers, but they want to know which is the best answer, and that's why you have to know the details of each one of these types of deeds.
All right, guys. So
now the topic of today's video is how does one take title or what?
Right there, he named off so many deeds. I wasn't even counting, but I want you guys to get the concept. You don't have to remember everything, but you have to get the concept that there are many types of deeds, from sheriff deeds, guardian deeds, quitclaim deeds, warranty deeds, special warranty deed. It goes on and on and on. They're gonna come up with new names of deeds in the future because we got cryptocurrency, smart contracts coming. So I'm pretty sure you're gonna have crypto deeds, you know, all type of deeds like that are coming. Okay, so we're gonna watch one more video and then we're gonna let me go up here, and then we're gonna have a little chit chat. Which video was it? You know what? That might be the last one. Did we watch this one? Let me see.
Talking about the different types of deeds. As always, in this video, we're going to talk about the definitions, how it deals with real estate, and of course, what to remember for the real estate exam. This video is a follow-up on my title for this deed video. I'm going to link that above and down below, and I encourage you guys to watch that one as well. Now, for those of you who don't know what a deed is a legal document that transfers title from one person to another, or the written proof of ownership for some form of asset or interest. Now, deeds are the legal documents that transfer title. It is a
All right. So he's pretty much going to just talk about stuff that we just saw on video. Any questions so far, guys? Any questions so far? I got a special treat for you guys. Let me show you guys what I have in my hand right here. Hang on one second. I'm trying to position the phone. I got a very special treat for you guys. I have a promissory note / deed from 1926. From 1926. This is original signatures. Excuse me, 1928. I don't know if you guys could see that, but right there where my finger is, 1928. Okay? I have a document that's almost 100 years old in my hand. Okay? This is how they used to write promissory notes and deeds. Remember, we had no computers and all of that. Everything was physically in your hand. Okay? Especially before the 60s. This says North Carolina, then the county name, whereas James E. Brown is indebted to L.E. Griffin in the sum of $65. Okay? This was a mortgage. This was a promissory note. $65. Evidented by his note, date today, payable 4 months after date, bear interest at the rate of 6% centrum per annum. Okay, payable annually and in order, secure the payment of same is purchase of this instrument. All right, so they use a whole different language back then, and it say this indenture made this 14th day of 1928 by and between James E. Brown and okay. Oh my goodness. Hang on one second, guys. My phones are falling off. All right, I got you. But this day of 1928, and between James E. Brown and wife Nora Brown, parties of the first part, and L.E. Griffin, party of the second. Then you had to have a witness. It was always needed like 1 or 2 witnesses. And it says basically the body and everything like that. But whatever land they bought, they paid $65 in 1928, whatever property they bought. Now, this does not have an APN number, a parcel number, address, or anything like that. It does have basically a legal description. It has a legal description. All right. So this is how the legal description sounded back then, and pretty much how they sound in the times we're in now. It says Okay. Okay, it says the following describe tract of land lying in Yeppen Township, uh, Carwan County, North Carolina, as follow, laying on north side of the road leading from Edenton, uh, Drummond Point, beginning on the road of W.C. Brown Corner, a ditch, and running northerly along said ditch. W.C. Brown's something line about 200 yards to a ditch, J.C. Brown's Corner, then easternly along said J.C. Brown side about 200 yards to the road. So this was your address back then. Okay, you know, when you wrote a letter to somebody, this is pretty much what you would write them as to telling them where you live. And when I watch old movies, cowboy movies and stuff, I see people just get to town basically and start asking for who they're looking for. Like if I came to see my Aunt Mary, she should pretty much know I was coming anyway, because you know you write letters. And then my Aunt Mary would be looking out for me, because you know my Aunt Mary might tell me, well, meet me at the parlor in town, blah blah blah, and I'll be wearing a blue dress or a black suit or whatever. So that's pretty much how people communicated, was through the mail and them going back and forth. And then when they finally met on that day at that time, they knew that's who, you know, they've been communicated with. But say they didn't have those specific instructions, people would go to the town and say, hey, I'm looking for John the carpenter's son. That's even where the name come from, like John Johnson, you know, our carpenter, John Carpenter, you know, because these were like trades. Your last name was usually having to do something with your trade, or something like that, you know, or your family name, the street your family lived on. Your last name was just a name that identified you of your clan, or your occupation. But that was a legal description or address, and it says about 200 yards. So I don't know how they defined about back then, but it's just interesting that I have in my hand a document literally almost 100 years old. I might be one of the only persons, beings that have a document like this. You know, I don't know if I'm one in 1,000, one in a million, but even if I'm one in a million with a document like this, I feel very honored. Very, very honored. I'm quite sure they save these documents in the county themselves in some vault somewhere. But you know, normally, you know, like by now, a property like this would have been passed on 2, 3 times and have different deeds. And I don't know if the family keep up with paperwork like this, but the home that I got this from, you know, they still had it. And I'm just amazed to have this document, you know. So anyhow, we're talking about deeds tonight, okay, and we're gonna finish talking about trust also. So anybody have any question about deeds? About deeds. The deed tells you specifically, you know, the land you have. It gives a legal description, okay, and also deeds. They used to have, you know, discrimination in them, you know, where, you know, no black people could ever own this land or this property type of stuff. You know, they used to write that in deeds, okay, or no non-white people. could have this property or ever live in this house, stuff like that. They used to write that in deeds. I didn't see that in this document, and I know for a fact the names in this document were so-called black people. Um, yeah, they said indigenous, and also I know the family. So, and it was actually one so-called black family transferring ownership over to another so-called black family, and this is how they did it back then. This is how they did it. All right. This is a real promissory note slash deed. Promissory note slash deed. So it seemed like it was all written in one paper, on one paper. Now you get, your promissory note is a book or 3-4 papers, and your deed is like, again, a book or 3-4 papers. And they pretty much separate it, and stuff like that. But it's just paperwork, guys. Everything is just paperwork, agreements, contracts. If you're in my mastermind, you know that we only deal with 5 contracts or agreements for what we do. We have an offer contract for making our offers. Okay. We have a purchase contract once the offer has been accepted. Okay. Then we have a promissory note if we're gonna basically making payments, owner financing the property. If you're doing it through a bank, it's called a mortgage. Okay. And then we write up our trust. Okay. Our trust is what we put out there to own the property, because we don't want anybody to know we personally own the property, and for us to be personally liable or open to lawsuits. And then we create what's called a deed. The lawyer creates a deed, or you create a deed outlining the property information, and that you are now the owner of the property. Okay. And the seller signs the deed. You sign the deed that you're the new owner, the legal description of the property. All of that goes into the deed. All right. All of that goes into the deed. And it's just paperwork. And now times, we do everything on the computer, but still everybody gets copies via paperwork. All right. That's all we do when we buy it the way we buy it. When we acquire properties, the way we acquire it is just those 5 things. When you're renting or trying to buy a house, you need way more than that. Or buy real estate, you need way more than that with a mortgage. Whether you're trying to acquire a mortgage or rent or lease, what do you need? Good credit, verification of work, income, verification of rent, that you have previous good standing rental history. Then you need W-2s. Then you need bank statements. They want your bank statements. Okay. You need like 5-10 more things on top of what we need when we purchase properties, owner financing. Okay. You need background checks. They're going to check your background for everybody over 18. Okay. Then if you're renting, you're limited to who can even live in your house that you're paying the mortgage for, whoever own it. Or you're paying them full rent. I'm paying you full rent, and you telling me only 2, 3, 4, 5 people could live in this house. Okay. So these are the things that people go through when you have when you acquire a mortgage, and or when you're renting. When you purchase properties via owner financing, you become the owner, or I should say you become the controller of the property, which means nobody could tell you how many people could live there. Nobody could tell you what to do and how to do it, as long as you're following the city and county guidelines. Okay. Staying within the rules and the laws. Okay. But at the same time, you get to make a purchase the property over time. Okay? You get to purchase the property over time. You get to do what you want on the property. When you purchase owner financing, you're doing the exact same thing as if you went through a bank without all the headaches of going through a bank. Okay? Now, most people think of owner financing as owner financing houses. Okay? But you can also just owner finance land. Okay? When you're dealing with houses, it's a different animal than when you're dealing with just the land. When you're dealing with just the land, it's land. You can't steal land physically. You can't pick it up and walk away with it. Okay? You can't really destroy it too much. Yeah, you could destroy land by, pouring toxic fluids on it and stuff like that, but that's so few and far between. There's things you can do to destroy a piece of land, but in general, it's not much you could do. You definitely cannot physically pick up the land and walk away. Now, with a house, when you owner finance in a house, you have to have insurance. You have to have insurance. The taxes are way higher. Okay? The taxes are way higher. You have to deal with now, what if the house catch on fire? Yeah, you got insurance money going to cover it, but where are you going to live? You might end up living in a camper anyway. What if, like these people where their house got flooded? The land is still there. All them people, God bless their soul, that went through this horrific thing of going through floods and hurricanes. All these people, their land is still there. Guess what's gone? The house. The house is gone. All right. This is why people that own or finance land, their criteria for you to purchase the land, getting the game on real estate is far less stringent. Is that the right word? Stringent. It's far less stringent. Okay. When you own or finance in a house, they want the same thing: verification of rent, verification of income. They're not so much going by your credit, but they do want to see what's on your credit. They're gonna do a background check. It's so many things to deal with when you're owner financing a house, when you're buying a house through a bank, when you are renting a house. I'm telling you guys, the quickest, cheapest, best entry into real estate is land. And learning from the bottom up. Okay, if you learn from the up, you buy a turnkey house, you live in it. You don't learn. You know how many people I know own a house and don't know anything about real estate? Nothing. They own a house, they own property, and they know nothing about real estate. And I know people that don't own any property and know more about real estate. So just because somebody owns a house, it doesn't mean they know real estate or what they're doing. They just bought a house because that's the thing to do. You get a job, fix your credit, buy a house, live in a house, blah, blah, blah. You know how many people that I know own houses, and as soon as they get in the house, they destroy the house. Their babies destroy the house. The house goes up in value. They bought it for $100,000. Now it's worth $400,000, but they could have got $600,000, but they can't get the $600,000 because they allow the house to get destroyed. Their babies destroy the house. They don't know how to maintain a house. I know a lot of people like that. That's why entering real estate from the bottom going up is the best thing. Not only are you going to learn everything from the bottom up, but it's less risky. You having a house on your land, let me tell you, I make the same amount of money renting camping space on my land than I do renting a whole house out. Renting a whole house out. The average house, the landlords only profit about $300 to $500 on the average house, unless they're doing something like they're renting beds or rooms or something like that, or Airbnb, then they might be making $1,000 to $30,000 per house per month. But if they just renting the whole house out to whoever, the average landlord only makes about $300 to $500 a month. I'm here to tell you, you can make $300 to $500 a month on one piece of land without fixing any toilets, fixing any roofs, doing anything like that, because you're just renting the land to campers. And those of you in my mastermind, you see my bank account, you see my Airbnb, it's no cap. Okay, I'm really making money from people camping on my land. All right. There is a way for you to build a house. What if I tell you there's a way for you to build a house on your land? Okay, and you don't need any credit or anything. It's called, once you paid off your land or you built enough equity in your land, you can leverage the equity. You leverage the equity. You done paid off $20,000, $30,000 into your land, or your land built $20,000, $30,000 equity. You can then leverage that to build a house on your land. Go directly to the builder and show them, hey, this is my property. This is what I owe or don't owe. I have this amount of equity, but my credit messed up. Can you still build a house for me on this property? And when we sell it, we split it, however you going to split it. Or I'm going to keep the house and make payments to you. Did you guys know you can do that? And there's a lot of builders that will work with you like that, and you have no decent credit. Why? Because if you don't pay them back for building a house, they're going to take the whole property. So they're not losing nothing. You already showed them the equity. They're not losing anything. There's a lot of builders that will do that. You don't have to even go to the bank. You can go directly to the builders. Okay? I'm telling you guys, these are the things they don't want you to know about land, real estate, property, real property. Okay? Start with the land. You can acquire land with multiple types of deeds. Depending on the type of deed you get, the price should be reflected. If you get a quick claim deed, we already know that's the deed that has the least security. So if it's a property that gives the least security, you should only pay no more than a few $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, depending on where it's at. But take the same property and they're giving you a warranty deed. That property is worth $100,000, even $1 million. Okay, that's the difference between the deeds. And then there's every variation in between. So that's why I tell you guys, you have to know what type of deed you're getting. This is why we do our due diligence. This is why my students have signed up to the mastermind, because a lot of you did not know the price that I pay for a property should also be dependent on what type of deed I'm getting. A lot of y'all don't know to ask the seller, hey, what type of deed I'm getting. There's a lot of scam sellers out here selling land, selling property, and they're giving you bullshit type of deed, but charging you as if it was a warranty deed. I keep telling y'all, you don't know what you don't know. There's so many questions to ask. Then you got to make sure when you get the warranty deed that you get title insurance. That's going to bulletproof your deed. Okay? Always get title insurance. That means if the lawyer mess up, whatever happens, they got to take care of it. It's all on them. If they got to come out the pocket $100,000, $1 million, it doesn't matter. It's all on them. All right? You cannot just buy land. Okay, a lot of people say, oh, owner financing, okay, easy, that's easy. I just go find me a piece of property, owner finance it. No, it's rules to it. You got to know what you're buying, what type of deed you getting. All right? There's rules to it. It's not just ABC 1, 2, 3. But once you learn it, you learn it. And it's just like riding a bike. You'll never forget, and you'll use it every minute of your life as far as real estate. Okay? Now we're going to go back to trust. We finished up where we were talking about I'm not even going to read the whole thing on trust, but we finished up where we were talking about let me see where we finished up at. I'm not even sure we finished up, but I know pretty much it was around here. So yesterday we went through why is a land trust needed when we purchase real estate. And we showed how if you have the real estate in your name, the property, the land in your name, and it shows your name in the public down there at the county, I showed you guys how easy it is for somebody to just pull that information up and know who you are specifically and exactly and send you a lawsuit. But if we have a trust name on there, nobody knows who the actual owner is because the actual owner's real physical name is held in private. And we showed here in the trust how the only way, okay, number 6, powers and duties of the trust. Okay, number 6. The trustee shall not record this agreement or name of any of the beneficiaries in any place of public record. Okay? Divulge copies of this trust agreement to individual or entity other than the beneficiaries. Okay? Or successor of the trust qualified within this agreement, okay, or reveal the identity of the beneficiaries unless ordered by court order as a matter of law. This is the only way the trustee could give up who the actual beneficiaries are of the trust. This is the only way. It have to be court ordered, and the court cannot even order it unless they follow the law. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. So anybody that sees the property owned by a trust, they're going to think twice before they sue you. Because first they got to find out who you are. There's a saying that a cat or a dog injured somebody on a property that was owned by the Kennedys, right? But guess what? The property was in a trust. Okay? So they sued the trust. They switched everything, all the documents over from the trust, right? They started a new trust, something like that. But the trust that they sued, guess what was in the trust that they sued? And what they won? The animal, the cat or the dog that bit them. That's what they won. This is the power of a trust. Okay? So even if they did sue you, man, there's all kind of things you could do to just do a switcheroony on them. Lawyers know not to sue trusts or anything like that. They're going to tell you, hey, go about this a whole nother way. Because first we got to get the judge to order the trustee to divulge who the beneficiaries are. But the trustee took an oath and swore to never divulge that information, what? In public, or make copies of this documents or anything like that. That trustee is bound to do that with a trust document. All right? It's powerful. You have to have a trust. A lot of y'all didn't know that. You have to have a trust. When y'all go to the bank, like SunTrust Bank, Truist Bank, that these are just a trust. You're trusting this institution to hold your money or disperse your money with your authority to whoever and whatever every time you swipe your card. Banks are trusts. You're trusting the bank. The bank owners are and tellers are trustees over your money. They cannot divulge or disperse anything without your authority. You control your banker. You control that debit card. When you go down to the bank, you tell the teller what to do. Okay, banks are a trust for your money. So if you have a trust set up for your money, why would you not have a trust set up for your land, your property, your real estate? Why would you not do that? Real estate is more powerful and worth way more than actual physical money. Real estate keep up with inflation. Paper money does not keep up with inflation. What $100 could buy right now in October 2024, $100 couldn't $100 bought way more, 5 years ago. You can't buy now with $100 what you used to could buy. But if you own land in 2020 and you own that same piece of land now, guess what? That $10,000 piece of land is now 30, 40, 50,000. But if you have $10,000 right now that you had 4 or 5 years ago, that $10,000 is really worth about $2,500. Okay? So if you're going to protect your money, why not protect your land in a trust? You protect your money in a trust. You don't know if you're going to get up and all your money's gone out the bank that you trusted. People be like, I don't trust nobody. You trust the bank with your money, people who you don't know, strangers. I don't trust nobody to be a trustee. You better find somebody to be a trustee. Your bank, some banks do it. You have companies that do it. That's all they do. You have lawyers, that's all they do. They're trustees for properties and estates. They're professional trustees. You could find a professional trustee. A professional trustee company. That's what banks are. Professional trustees of your money. All right? So I think that's where we had left off yesterday. I'm going to read a little bit more of this. Again, guys, if you have questions in a mastermind, my students, just unmute your mic and speak because I cannot see you. I cannot see you while I'm sharing screen. So then, having the written consent of beneficiaries, the trust shall have full authority. The trust has full authority powers with respect to following of the trust property. Issue notes of bonds and to secure the payment of same by mortgaging the whole or any part of the trust property to borrow money, give money, notes thereof. That's just talking about the money part. Like if you mortgage a property, I leave that to my students for you guys to read. Those are you not yet my students. You'll have this document if you become my student. And pretty much you guys should already guess it, this just outlining that the beneficiaries are the ones that can mortgage the property, the ones that can benefit financially from the property, not the trustee. Okay, so that's all outlined in the rest of this information here. On number 7, compensation of the trustee. The beneficiaries jointly and severally or separately agree that the trustee shall receive the sum of $100 or whatever it is. Somebody might charge you $10 or $10,000. Okay, one-time fee for her services, because that's what a trustee is doing. They're giving you a service, like the bank is giving you a service. Okay, for services. When you guys open a bank account and the banker asks you to sign those papers, do you know you guys are signing a trust? You're signing a trust document. You're the grantor. You're granting the ability to hold your money for you, but when you come back for your money, they need to give it to you. You're signing trust documents. When you open a bank account, that's all you're signing is trust documents. All right. Number 8, liability of trustee. The trustee and his successor as trustee shall not be required to give a bond, and other trustees shall be liable. Any shall be liable only for their own acts, and then only as a result of his gross negligence. So basically just saying that if the trustee does anything outside of what's outlined in this contract, that's on them. That's on them, on their own negligence. All right. Number 9, removal of the trustee. The beneficiaries shall have the power to remove a trustee from his office or appoint a new successor to succeed her at any time. Only the beneficiaries can replace the trustee. Again, the trustee is just an employee of the trust and for the beneficiaries. All right. Number 10, reassignment and successor. Any trustee may resign her office with 30 days written notice, or you could put 60, 90, 80, 10 days notice to beneficiaries. And again, I'm not giving you guys any legal advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. I'm just consulting you on what I do, telling you what I do and how I do. All right. Let me see. And beneficiaries shall proceed to elect a new trustee to take the place of the trust. Blah blah blah. That's just talking about appointing a new trustee and all that type of stuff. But the principle of it is the beneficiaries is saying in the document itself, the beneficiaries are the only one that can regulate. Okay? Just get the principle. You don't have to memorize every word verbatim and all that. Just get the principle. And that's the principle of what's being said. All right? And then I'm gonna leave the rest for my students to read. And if you want to get in the mastermind, you'll have the privilege of reading the trust document that I use and all that wonderful stuff. So, you guys have any questions? Now is the time for questions. Either on the internet, on YouTube, or in Mastermind. You guys have any questions? Speak now, or that's it. That's all, folks. Until next class. You guys comprehend everything I said? You gotta have questions.
It is a lot to absorb, especially all the D's. I was trying to follow the video and whatnot. It is a lot, but I'm gonna go back over everything myself. The question I have is the beneficiaries. They can, if they were to get into some trouble or something like that, and their names as beneficiaries, can they be sued from what they did by them being listed?
Yeah.
As beneficiaries.
Yeah, if they violate the contract, wait, can the beneficiaries be sued? Say that again, my bad.
Yeah, okay. Say like, for instance, if I have my son as a beneficiary and he get into some trouble, whatever, and they find out that he's a beneficiary to the property.
Oh,
well,
that's the thing. That's the whole thing. First, they have to find out.
So,
but it's very
trust,
difficult.
No names are listed.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
That's the whole point. First, they got to find out that he owns the property or whatever, or have money. Okay. First, they got to find out. And let's just say they do find out and they have proof. They have somehow the trust documents leaked, and whoever wants to sue have the trust documents. A judge still have to order it. Okay, so you know, just because somebody does get your paperwork doesn't necessarily mean they'll win a lawsuit over you, because obviously they, like, say a trustee go vogue and say I'm your trustee, and your daughter is my girlfriend, and your daughter is the beneficiary. Your daughter's the beneficiary, and say I have a fight with your daughter and I break up with her and I want to get back at her. So I go around telling everybody, oh, y'all see this house we live in? We don't really rent it. We own it. Her mama left her this house and it's worth $10 million. Look, I got the trust document because I'm the trustee, and I'm telling y'all could sue her. And I tell everybody in the neighborhood, walk on the property and trip and fall. And now she got a bunch of lawsuits. Well, a judge is still going to have to look at it and say, first of all, how did they even know she was the owner? Oh, the trustee blurt that out? Oh, the trustee the one going to get the lawsuit. Because the trustee, it clearly say you're not supposed to divulge who the beneficiaries are of this trust. And you divulged it, and you the one, I'm the one that would get sued as the trustee. Okay? Now if it's something serious where somebody got murdered and all this type of stuff, and the judge goes according to the law and see that, you know, based on the severity of the situation, that the owner of the property does have to be divulged, or the beneficiaries of the property do have to be divulged, you know, in that case, in that situation, you know, a judge may order the trustee to give up, you know, who the beneficiaries are. But yet and still, that might not be enough to make the beneficiaries liable. make the estate liable, make the estate have to pay out. It might not. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it is, I'm not saying it not. I'm just saying, again, a trust is not full bulletproof of anything, but it's just an extra protection. It's kind of like you put your luggage, you put your clothes in the luggage, right? And you go on a plane. Can that luggage protect your clothes if the plane goes up in flames or crash? Okay. It just protects you from other people's luggage and protects your clothes from getting dirty. It just protects the minimal stuff, the easy to get to stuff, right? So that's the same like a trust. It just protects the little minimum stuff, a luggage. If you put jewelry in your luggage, or you put some cheap clothes, you put $1 million in gold bars in your luggage, or you put some cheap clothes in your luggage, nobody knows, right? The only way they'll know is if they open your luggage or somebody say it. It's the same with a trust. The only way they know what's in a trust or who's in a trust is if somebody say it or they open it up. Okay? And if the trustee open it up and they wasn't supposed to, a judge could say, hey, that wasn't supposed to be opened up anyway. You know what I mean?
Is it filed through the courts?
Huh?
Is it filed through the courts, the trust? Or is that something, a document?
That's a private document. That's an agreement between the owner and the trustee. It's not filed in the court. That's an agreement. Okay, the only thing filed in the court, only thing filed in the court is the deed. But guess who's the owner of the deed? The trust.
Okay.
The trust. The trustee is just who they call as a spokesperson, because they obviously can't call the beneficiaries because it's a trust. So it's like okay, the trust owns this. Okay, the trust can't speak for itself. So who's gonna speak for the trust? A trustee speaks for the trust. That makes sense?
Yes.
Okay, you sure now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The attorneys draws up the papers, right? The trust.
Yeah, but you like this land trust, you could do it yourself also, or you can have your attorney draw it up or check it for you. But if you're in my class, you have access to the same document I use. I'm not telling you to use it or not use it, but I use it. You know what I'm saying? And I'll show you guys how to fill it out, based on what I do.
Okay.
And stuff like that,
Okay.
And but you always recommend it to take what I tell you and take it to your attorney.
I see.
Okay. And as you do this business, you'll see that it's not complicated. It's just, again, paperwork, agreements. And, you might have attorneys say, what's this bullshit? Let me write you up one. It's $3,000. You know what I'm saying? So, you got to watch stuff like that, so you want an honest attorney that's going to tell, oh, this is okay. All right. I reviewed it. They might charge you $100, $200 a page or whatever. You pay that fee for them to review. Or they might tell you, hey, for what I'm going to charge you to review it, I might as well write you a new one. Well, if you trust them to write you a new one, then you do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just showing you guys what I use and what I do,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Just got to learn more about the deeds. That's all. I don't have no question for that right now, because that's a lot that was, we was going through today. So I got to go over that a little bit more, let it absorb in me.
Mm-hmm. But you get trust though. Miriam, yes. Chris, y'all get trust? Y'all get the principle?
Yes.
Okay. So, we'll go over more with deeds next class. We'll go over deeds some more. We'll go over that some more. And I won't be able to go into the whole thing of each deed again because there's a lot of deeds, and they're gonna be coming up with more deeds, for the blockchain. But just get principle. The principle is a deed is just telling you legal description, what's going on. Hey, I don't really own this property, but whatever I do own, you can have it. Give me 5,000, 1,000, whatever. It's up to you if you want to sign that deed, and it's called a quick claim deed. Then you have the other deed that they say, hey, I own this 100,000%. Matter of fact, if I don't own it, I'll pay you back, and all that good stuff. That's a warranty deed. Okay. Then you have, like they say, they have a sheriff's deed. If the sheriff sees a property, whatever, the sheriff could deed you the property, but the sheriff can't guarantee nothing. They just seize the property, but they can't guarantee, whatever. Then you have guardian's deed, they called it, whereas the person basically saying they don't own the property, but they're the guardian of the person that owned the property, and I'm signing this paperwork on their behalf, So you have all kinds of deeds, And again, a deed and a title is separate. Sometimes you hear me say, oh, same thing. Well, I just say same thing because to make it simple for you guys, but in a legal sense, it's completely different because, again, like the video said, the deed is the receipt of when your mama went to the store and brought the food for you. That's a deed. When your mom got that receipt, she could show anybody. I brought these apples and eggs and bananas. Here's my receipt. That's a deed. But the title is after mama cooked the food up and put it on a plate and cover it up and put a label on it and say Mama's Fried Chicken.
I see.
And she put that title on it. Okay, that's Mama's Fried Chicken. Okay, but we don't know if Mama actually bought that fried chicken. Maybe Mama cooked the fried chicken, but maybe the restaurant she owns at is the one that brought the fried chicken. They the real owners. Mama just putting her title on there. You know what I'm saying? So, having title to something does give you power over it, but the deed gives you the real power. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, y'all. Y'all straight?
Oh, yeah.
All right, now. I love you guys. And see you next class. We're gonna do it again. God's will, Sunday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. 8:30 p.m. Eastern. If you're not in class, you better sign up and get in class. You see how we get down. All right. So for those of y'all, oh yeah, y'all co-sign me. Y'all tell them how we get down in here.
Yes, you really did put the details and make us understand things that you don't let the public know about.
Yeah. Because see, when y'all sign up to the most people masterminds, number one, you don't get the person, but a lot of them you don't get the actual person that you sign up for. You get their team. They always tell you, me and my team. Well, it ain't them and their team. It's their team you always get, right? So you guys get me, number one, okay? Number two, you have access to me. You can call me, text me, all the time. My students have that type of access to me. They're stuck on any deal, anything like that. Number three, lifetime membership. My membership is lifetime. I hate when I buy a course and it's like I buy it and it's just I gotta pay every month, or it's just for literally a pamphlet, a course. No, when you sign up to my mastermind, it's not a course. It's not it's straight networking. What we doing here, be honest with you, is just straight networking. I'm networking with you guys. I'm telling you guys the information I know, and a lot of you guys tell me information. So when you're talking about networking, man, networking is forever. You got to stay in contact.
That's true.
You have to stay in contact. So really, y'all buying into a network of like-minded people. We all like-minded in here, so you don't have to come in here thinking, oh, somebody gonna judge me because I want to buy some land and live off grid. No, that's what we do. And we buy lands how? Owner financing. Why? It's land. The owner is not worried about you picking up the land and walking away. Okay, the worst, you might burn it down, go camping out there and something. But even that, be honest with you, a lot of people pray. So that way you know how much it costs to clear land? It costs about $2,000-$3,000 an acre to clear land. A lot of times I believe they start these dang forest fires to clear the land. We know it's to clear the land of the people, but I think they do it to clear the land of the trees too. Instead of hiring proper people to go out there and cut the trees down, they start fires. But that is a way to clear land, though. In general, you could start a fire. When is the next class? Okay, Geo, up next class is Sunday night, 8:30 p.m. But it will not be broadcast. It will not be broadcast. You have to get in my mastermind. I only come on here every now and then and broadcast class, but you have to get in my mastermind. It's lifetime membership. And I tell you guys, like I tell my students, I do this not necessarily for the money. I do it so you guys can have land. It make no sense y'all keep renting. I'm straight. I got my land. I don't have to teach. I don't have to come on YouTube. I rent my land out on Airbnb. My students see that. Y'all see that on YouTube. I get residual income off my land alone. I'm straight. I'm trying to teach y'all what I do. I'm trying to help y'all get land. So y'all don't hurt my feelings by not signing up or not coming to class. Y'all hurting y'all self by not learning this information, whether you learn it from me or anybody else. And as you can see, it's not as simple as let me just buy some land. You have to do what's called your due diligence, and you have to know what you are buying. Otherwise, you're gonna buy some mess and then find out later you bought some mess. Am I right about it?
Sure.
All right, so this is what I teach my students. I make my students savvy and know what they're talking about. They call there on the county. They know the 20-some questions to ask. Okay, my students learning all about a trust. And hey, by the way, I'm gonna put my property in a trust. Okay, my students learning about, hey, all the type of deeds they could get. My students learning about how to rent their land out and make residual income. I'm telling y'all, you just don't know what you just don't know. Goddess of, let me use your name here. Goddess of Light. You're our newest student. How do you like it so far? This is your second or third class. How do you like it so far?
I love it. I gotta change that. Y'all could call me Wanda for sure. It's Rwanda, like the country in Africa, but you can call me Wanda. I love it. I'm learning a lot. I mean, the first day I was so elated from, learning the trust and going through the deeds and whatnot. And then again, this is my second class. So I feel wow, I feel good because I was going to go to take up a real estate class, maybe at Gold Coast or something to learn this stuff. And I'm like, my God, you went through so much stuff the other day. It's like, oh my God, I feel good. I'm happy that I came on board. I really am. Because, I've been following you for a long time, and I just didn't have the right time to sit down and really plan out what is it that I want to do. I always wanted land, but finally when I had the opportunity, I hurried up and contacted you, and I feel blessed. I really do. I really do. And I would recommend you to others too as well.
Thank you. Listen, guys, I cuss. Let me say cuss. I'm not gonna say curse because that's literally two different things. I cuss. I may say improper information. We go through that sometimes. But what I want you guys to learn is principle. You don't know what you don't know. And there's stuff that I don't know. And there's stuff that's going to come out in the future that none of us know. That's why the mastermind is not about me. Because when I'm dead and gone 50 years from now, and I have 1 million people in this network, 10 million, 100 million people in this network, y'all going to continue to build. It's not about me. It's about a movement. What I'm showing all of y'all, Wanda, Chris, Miriam, y'all gonna come teach after me. Everything I'm teaching y'all, I want to sit down a couple years from now and say, hey, Miriam, you have class tonight. Chris, you have class tonight. Wanda, you teach class tonight. You know what I'm saying? That's what this is about. Okay? And then y'all offsprings, y'all, whoever y'all come after y'all, gonna take that over. It's not about me. I'm just the first one. But I'm trying to duplicate myself in y'all. Okay? That's all I'm doing. So that's why I need y'all to get the information. I want to make copies of myself. I want to clone myself in y'all. And see I'm gonna tell you the thing about information. Once you learn the information, you never really learn it until what? You learn it so well you can teach it. You can teach it to a 5-year-old. By the time I'm done with y'all come to class, you're supposed to be able to teach it to your 5-year-old. Your 2-3-year-old. That's how savvy and proficient and efficient I want you guys to know real estate. That's why I want to start you guys from the bottom, from the dirt, buying the land. My students learning about perk tests, septic tanks, electric, setting up your electric, applying for your address, the bottom. By the time you done with our network information, you're a developer. You're a full developer. You're a full developer. You can develop any land. You could go on to buy any piece of land and develop it. You're unstoppable. Then you teach it to your family and your family and pass the information down. That's why I'm not trying to teach y'all how to buy a house. That's easy. They make that it's hard, but it's easy. It's hard because why? You got to have good credit, insurance, good job, income, W-2, 2-year W-2, background checks. It's silly when you could just start off with some land.
Yeah, don't even own the land the house sitting on most of the time.
Yeah, it's crazy how people take 2 years to fix their credit. Let me tell you something. If I was to start all over again, and you get somebody else that go buy a house, right? You take somebody, they go buy a house, and take me, I go buy a piece of land, right? In 2 years, I could show you guys how I would be in a better position than that person that bought the house. Number one, Again, you buying a house, the land with the house on it, you got to pay insurance, higher taxes. You got to fix it every time something breaks. You got to maintain it.
That's true.
Me, I just own the land. Okay? I could rest nice at night. A hurricane come through. I'm like, hallelujah. I hope it blow down some trees so I could plant what I want to plant now. Okay? Don't you know, say it's my neighbor and they got a house on their land and I live next door, I don't have a house. If my neighbor property goes up in value, my property gonna go up in value. So say my neighbor's property is worth 200,000 because they got a house on it, but mine's is only worth 50,000 because I just have my land. But my neighbor's property went up to say 300,000, but mine's only went up to 100,000, right? So it's like my neighbor made 150,000 and I only made 50,000. But you got to think about it. They was keeping up with insurance, fixing everything, cleaning the house. Look at all the things they were doing, making high mortgage payments, making $1,000, $1,500 mortgage payments. I'm making $100, $200 land payments. All right. The stress, just the stress alone of keeping up with a house. Okay.
Yeah.
Just the stress level of keeping up with a house. No, give me the land. Give me the land. I ain't got no stress. Okay. I'm building equity the same way. People think land don't build equity. Yes, we've all seen a piece of land that our mom and daddy said, oh, I could have bought that for $1,000 30 years ago. They just sold it for $1.2 million. Just the land. It happened to me. My dad and the neighbor said, oh man, we could have bought that for $35,000 back in the 80s. That same piece of land sold for like 5 million something. It's the it's you know what I'm talking about, Wanda?
Yeah.
The intersection of 183rd and 27th.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Am I lying?
That area is so hot. It is so
what it was hot. In the 80s, dirt road. Now
I'm gonna go back even further than that. Those houses in that area when I was young, those houses, my mother bought that house for $12,000. We just sold it 3 weeks ago for $430,000.
I'm telling you.
She bought the house $12,000 and it's rent down. My sister didn't keep up with it. It's rent down, and we still got $430,000 just because of that area. Just because of the area.
Just because of the land. Just because what? What they say? Location.
That's true. Yeah, we was shocked. We thought we was probably going to get no more than $2,000 for it, but
yeah,
they came over, the investors, and they offered us $430,000 for it. I was like, oh my God, hurry, sell, get rid of it.
Over there in Riverview.
No, we were right across on 187, right down the street from Kerosene City High.
Yeah.
Where the new shopping plaza is on 27th Avenue.
Yeah.
Where Burlington and all that.
The flea market used to be there. Yeah.
Yeah, and no, before the flea market, it was Woolco.
Yep. I remember that.
We had Ecker Drugstore, we had J.C. Penney's back, all of that was over there before the flea market.
Yep, I remember that.
Across the street over there, those houses. They're going for four and a half up now. Yeah. Almost 5. And if you got equity into it, you're gonna get every bit of 6 or 7 or 8.
And that's only what, like 50 years ago.
Yeah. My mother and them bought that house for $12,000 back in the 60s. And that house we sold it for $430,000.
And my mom and dad bought their house for $60,000 in 91. And now it's worth $500,000, almost $600,000.
Yeah, that's a very hot area because you got the stadium, the racetrack, the concerts, all of that over there. That area is so hot, but I can't stand it anymore, and I can't take it no more.
Right.
The traffic is
horrendous. I mean, just think about the people that own the land in New York City, right downtown. You can't even think about buying that land. Just the land alone is like $1 billion, $100 million.
Oh my God, it's
$500 million.
crazy in New York. It's too crazy. I went there for the first time and I thought I was on that movie, The Fifth Element with Chris Rock.
Yeah.
It was too much for me.
Imagine who owned the land. Imagine who owned the land under the Apollo Theater.
Oh my God.
Whoever owned that land under the Apollo Theater 100, 200 years ago was like, oh, this is dirt. This is nothing. Bought it for 50 cents. Now you kept it in your family for 200 years. You're talking about something that's priceless. The Apollo Theater, you own the land under the Apollo. That's priceless.
Yeah, that's historical.
You can't even buy that. You can't sell that.
I wouldn't. Some things you just gotta,
that's
be
how
sentimental about.
Now the taxes, you have to keep up with the taxes. The taxes alone probably $100 million, but a year. But well, I'm exaggerating, but the tax is probably way over $1 million a year. But the idea is, okay, we have the opportunity to buy land right now for $5,000, $6,000, $10,000, $20,000. Our ancestors 100, 200 years from now, even 50 years from now, are gonna thank us. That same land we buying for 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 is gonna be 500,000, 2.5 million in 50 years from now, and we only paying 5,000. That's why I say it's not about us. It's not about me. Don't you wish your great Wanda? Aren't you glad your mom paid 12,000 back then, and y'all got that 430? Now 12,000 back then was probably a lot of money, and it was people saying, "You gonna spend $12,000 on that house when you could pay rent for $10 a month?"
And I mean, that house was, my sister did not take a leak in room. One side of electricity not working. The pipes busted through 2 bathrooms. And we actually thought we was going to get way less. They didn't care. It was just the area. Just
because you know what? They didn't buy the house. They're going to tear the house down. You know what they bought? The land. Your land is worth $430, not the house. That's what they bought.
You're right about that, because we were shocked when we got the
because they wasn't buying the house. If they was buying the house, they'd have gave you. If they was buying the house, they'd have gave you $600. They wasn't buying the house. They was buying the land. Right. That's why I tell you, it's the powers in the land, not the house. That's why I keep telling y'all. Now that same house would have been, say, somewhere like Clewiston, Florida. You would have been lucky to get 50,000.
Especially in that condition.
Especially in that condition. But because that house is in Miami Gardens, you get almost $500,000. Again, not for the house, for the land.
Oh yeah. Now, if the house is updated and remodeled, you're gonna get some money for that.
Now let me tell you, that guy that bought that land, because that's what it was, for $430,000. Let me tell you what he's gonna do. Like Colette say, they're gonna tear it down and they're gonna build probably an apartment building or a 5-bedroom house and sell it all for about $1.5 million.
Exactly. That's what they're doing.
They're gonna build a hotel, because what's happening over there, you got the drag racing they do over there now, NASCAR, and they do Jazz in the Garden. Like Miami Gardens is literally the next Las Vegas. Yeah. Las Vegas.
And they already built new condos off on 37th Avenue.
Yep.
By the middle school and junior. Oh, you should see those townhomes over there. Oh my God.
I know it.
You wouldn't believe they built something like that in that area. But I see what they're doing, gentrification. So that's what's going on in that area.
And it's so sad that so many people did not buy land or property when Wanda Mom did. Because that means all them people would have been in the same position that Wanda Mom was able to leave her and her family that house, and they was able to get $430,000.
Mm-hmm.
Again,
From $12,000 from the
$12,000 from the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
It's the land. Same with my mom and dad. They bought it for $60,000. Now it's worth almost $600,000.
Wow.
Because my mom and dad, they're in Rolling Oaks. You know where Rolling Oaks is?
Oh yeah, that's
That's where
a beautiful area.
Yeah, that's
so those houses over there going for $6K.
right. That's where the higher ups are.
Yeah.
In that area. I mean, to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised my mom and dad get a call, in the next 5 years, people start wanting to offer 1.5 million and stuff like that. I'm definitely not going to be surprised people start offering 3 million in the next 10, 20 years.
I would give them 5 years.
Yeah.
I would give them 5 years. Yeah, because the houses, if we sold that Raggedy Shack for $430,
right,
what do you think going to happen in the next 5 years?
Exactly.
If it's $430.
Exactly.
Now, the house that's in the other house is in Carol City. That's every bit of $8K because it's an addition built on it and whatnot, and the landscaping and everything. It's almost to $1 million already.
Yeah.
If that house is immaculate, they're going for a good 6 and up.
Yeah. I mean,
already.
Yeah. Look at California and LA. All them raggedy houses, $1 million.
Wow.
Again, it's not the house. It's the land. That's what I'm telling y'all. Buy land. I want y'all to be having nightmares, waking up in the middle of the night. Buy land. Wake up, baby. Wake up, baby. Gotta get up, go buy something. That's what this one over here be doing to me. Middle of the night. What you doing? I'm looking for some land. I'm like, what the? I done turned you into a monster, a land monster.
Yeah.
I'm telling y'all gonna have nightmares when y'all 20 years from now. Dang, I remember Dragon Manifest. Boy, he told me buy me some land. God damn it.
That's why I always kept following you until I was
could have been $600,000.
Yep. That's why I never stopped contacting you because I knew what my mission was. I saw what was coming. I know what's going on, and it's gonna get even worse. So
they're not making no more land
right now.
They're not making no more land. That's the only thing. They making more cars. They making more TVs. They knocking down old houses, building new houses. They making you everything. You jewelry. You riding around your Rolls Royce Mercedes Benz like it's gonna be perfect forever.
Oh, wow. It's going to go further than that with the AI now. They got cars that, well, not here in China. They got cars that flies. You don't need wheels and stuff like that.
Right.
It's soon going to come. They already got the robots coming, so the cars is next.
The only thing they're not making no more of is land. They ain't making no more. They making everything else. They making you humans. They making you everything else. The one thing they not gonna make more of is land.
That's true.
I'm telling y'all, buy the land. I'm telling you, them $6,000 gonna be $600,000 in 20 years. Them $20,000 gonna be $2.5 million. That's your retirement.
Mm-hmm.
Your offspring's income. And I'm telling y'all, when you get your land, to rent it out. So once you renting your land out, it's like you getting it for free. Y'all want reparations and land? This is the way you get it.
They surely gonna get no reparations.
Yeah. You acquire the land and then you rent it out. I'm telling you.
Makes sense. It makes sense.
Y'all see what I'm doing. If I could do it, anybody could do it. And I'm surprised why I'm out here in the city. I'm just looking at people riding in Mercedes, BMWs, got eyelashes, hair weave, Jordans. And I'm like, I bet they don't even own one piece of rock. I bet they rent an apartment. I bet they can't even afford their high-ass mortgage. They definitely making car note payments. And if the shit hit the fan right now, they don't even have a rock to crawl under. If they say, you got to come take this, whatever in your body, if you want to keep your job, they going to have to. Because they don't have no choice. But people that have land, they could say, to hell with it. I'll go grow my own food and live on my own land.
That's the plan.
But if you put your money into car payments and Rolls Royce, Mercedes, Benz, BMWs, eyelashes, hair weave, Jordans, cigarettes, weed, cocaine, paying rent, I don't know what to tell you, boy.
No, but you're right. You're right. We as a people, we have to get up and do for ourselves. We can't keep relying on others to do for us. There's no reparations. The land, it was ours from the beginning. They took it from us, and we have to pay to get it back. While we can't afford it.
Why you can't afford it? They say by 2053, it's a wrap. You won't even be able to afford it. Especially so-called black people.
I give it to 2030 because look, the dollars are going away. Everybody got to have, the bricks is, the American dollar is useless, and everything is coming into. We walking into AI. Joshua 8. Read it. It's in the Bible.
I don't know why people can't see it. I don't know why people
wants a
cannot.
robot in your house, and they putting human stem cells and all kind of stuff in these things. Like that movie, AI Robot with Will Smith in it.
They don't show
that was a warning. That's a warning for us.
And y'all remember in all these movies, right? What they always show, the people in the country is the ones survive, and the people in the city be trying to get out in the country and be like, oh, y'all survive, y'all live. It's survivors, and where the survivors at? Always out in the country.
Every one of them. Every last one of the movies. That is so true.
The movies
movies too. Every last one of them.
And the movies always end where the zombies finally make it out to the country. And then they do part 2. But it's the people. It's the people in the country
I'm happy
that survive.
I have to say, because I've been following you for 2 years now, and I decided to stop procrastinating. I see what the future is.
2 years you've been following me.
A bottle of soda is going to be $5 and $10 now. So I see it coming. A liter
of Coca-Cola is what, $2.99, $3.99? It's already $5.
Oh my! Thank God you shouldn't be drinking that stuff anyway. It cleans your toilet. You shouldn't be drinking Coca-Cola no way.
Why I go to pick up a can?
You shouldn't be drinking it.
Why I go pick up a can of Coca-Cola in the gas station? It's $2.99. Y'all remember when it was 59 cents? And people paying it.
Wow, that's crazy.
A can of soda is $2.99. A can, the little can. I don't know why people don't see it. People walking around here like nothing going on, paying their rent, paying their car note like nothing going on. They do not see the urgency to save money, to stop paying car note, go get them a cash car, fix on it, to live in a car, stop paying rent. I tell you.
Can I share something with you? What I did? And that's what made me call you and get on board. I had a Cadillac SRX. And I got so sick of paying all of that money with the insurance, because it was a sports edition too. So it was a luxury sports. And I kept trying to find cheap insurance for that thing. And nobody would not drop the payments on it. So I'm paying $800, $900 for this thing, right? So you know what I did? I gave it up.
Yep.
And I said, okay, Wanda, you got to really, clean house now. It's time to let go of this stuff. You know what's coming. The food is bad. Everything is genetically modified. Then you got Bill Gates with this stuff he's spraying on the fruits and vegetables on top of that. That's making people get cancer. So you got to grow your own fruits and vegetables. And I've been storing up seeds and buying seeds for about the past 5 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And I made a decision to give up all of that risky stuff. Go get you some land. Then you're going to be fine.
Yeah. Miriam, we just got Miriam some land not even a year ago, 6 months now. And I ride back around there, right on the beach. You got, what's that? Keller Williams banker now over there, brokers now over there trying to buy that land up.
Oh, they're going to offer
But they already bought it.
Give up your land.
Yeah, they already bought that land around there. They turning around, flipping it. So
they're going to come for her. They're going to come at her and want her piece too, because they're going to want to broaden everything.
So I want, next time I go down there, I want to actually contact them and see what they selling they parts for that they bought. I mean, I could just call them. I guess I'll just call them and find out. But I wanted to go to the office down there and really look them in the eye and see what's going on down there. But I'm telling y'all, man, land. Even all this land out here in the desert right now. Yeah. Even all this land. Y'all need to look up earth bag homes. They building whole societies in the desert. Dubai was built. Dubai, where the most expensive place, one of the most expensive place to go right now, Dubai. Y'all know that's a desert? Yeah. Y'all do know that's the desert. What y'all think gonna happen to the desert in America in the next 5-10 years? They already doing it. That's what I'm telling y'all. I just bought property out in the desert. I bought 5 acres in the desert. I probably won't even go out there for the next 5 years. But hey, that's 5 acres in the desert. It's coming. It's coming. It cost me $5,000 with my business partner. It cost us about $5,000. I guarantee we gonna get about $500,000 for it in the next 20 years. I guarantee you. Because I know what's coming out there in the desert. Listen, people.
The casinos are going out there.
The casinos right now, Las Vegas, Nevada. That's the desert. That they can do anything they want, anywhere they want. Okay? I'm telling y'all.
Wow.
Think about if you would have did it 2 years ago, Wanda. If you'd have pulled the trigger 2 years ago, you'd already be on it.
Wow. Yeah, well, like I said, I had to downsize and get rid of that expensive car. And, and I'm going to go clean out my storage this weekend and get rid of some other stuff.
It's just stuff.
I got to let go.
It's just stupid stuff. I went through the same process. I threw away so much stuff. Tools even. I gave my buddy a whole bunch of I had 2, 3, 4 of the same tool. I said I only need but 1 or 2. I gave a buddy.
Same thing too.
I gave a buddy
generator,
of mine.
She gave away everything.
Yeah, generator. Yep. I gave a buddy of mine probably $10,000 worth of tools. I gave it to him.
Wow.
Because I was paying storage on it. I had a warehouse.
That's where I'm at now.
And I'm like, I'm not gonna keep paying this warehouse. I'd rather give all this stuff away than keep paying this warehouse.
That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
So
it's just
little
stuff.
by little.
People holding on to stuff and missing out on equity.
Yep.
Holding on to stuff.
That's what I'm doing now. I'm in the middle of.
You're missing out on equity. And equity is what? Wealth. That's where wealth is built. Bill Gates buying up all the farmland.
Oh, God.
Why they buying land? God. Why is a daggone mad scientist turning a farmer?
Depopulation. They want to bring down the world to 500 and something million people. So that's the way they can do it. That's why we need to grow our own fruits and vegetables. Get that
land. Now imagine if all of us would have got together and bought that land before he got to it. And he bought that stuff cheap, $250,000, $100,000, $50,000.
That's serious.
You know what the definition of insanity is? When good men stand by and do nothing. Do nothing. And also thinking, never changing. How they say? Keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result.
Yep.
That's the definition of insanity. If you're the same person today you was 20 years ago, you wasted 20 years. If you're the same person today you was yesterday, you wasted 24 hours. I don't know why people think it's okay to be the same. No, you need to change. When people around me tell me I never change, I don't want them people around me.
You're gonna be forced to change it. It ain't gonna be in your favor. It ain't gonna be what you like.
I don't care if you gotta fall on your face to change. I love people that change.
Got to.
I don't care if somebody say, "Oh man, remember me, bro?" And I say, "Dang, bro, what happened to you? You fell off?" "Yeah, man, but I changed." I'd be like, "Man, that's the most beautiful thing I ever heard."
You have to change. Time change. Years change. Months change. Weeks change. Days change. Everything changes. Nothing stays the same.
Your skin change. Everything
Generations change.
But your mind, people mind, they don't want to change up here. You got 50-year-olds walking. You got 5-year-olds walking around here with 50-year-old bodies. Or I should say 15-year-olds and 50-year-old bodies. They still teenagers in their brain. I know a lot of people like that. I'm like, dang, you don't know land or nothing? No, man, what I'm gonna do with that? But you see them buying new clothes and shoes.
Hope you'll be able to eat it when that time comes.
It's crazy out here.
Eat your shoes.
This is crazy, man. I'm telling y'all, man, land. I just, and it's so easy and simple. Let me tell y'all. Me and my baby was talking about it. I've gotten so accustomed to the simple life right now. My buddies, everybody I know laugh at me. But guess who have the least stress among anybody that I know? Me and my baby. I have no stress.
And what's that saying? How does that saying go? He who laughs last won't have the last laugh?
Yeah. My friends laugh at me because I like living minimalistic. I like living in a camper. I like living in my truck. I like pooping in buckets. I enjoy it. You know why? I actually feel more natural.
I haven't gotten to that point yet.
I feel so.
I ain't get to that point yet now. I want to live out in the country. I want to live a simple life, but I ain't got to that point.
When I'm by myself out there on the land and I feel like pooping, and I say, "Oh, let me just squat." I got some wipes on me, or like when I lived in Jamaica, we use leaves, pick some leaves off the ground, wipe our butt. I don't know what it is. And I go down to the water and I splash some water on my butt. I don't know what it is, but I feel better and cleaner than sitting on a toilet.
And then guess what?
And you're supposed to squat and poop.
And they had no sickness.
Yeah.
No skin rash, no nothing.
You're supposed to.
And we got away from that.
Yeah, you're supposed to squat and poop.
What they call it, an outhouse.
Yeah, I'd rather squat and poop on toilets. I mean, on buckets than on toilets.
Yeah,
I'd rather live in a tent. I'd rather live in a tent.
Yeah, I had a solar shower.
I actually rather live in a tent than a house. People laugh at me, but I see the health benefits. I see and feel the health benefits of living in nature.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm a living witness. of breathing, living under a tree and breathing from the tree versus living in a house, breathing in drywall, freon from the air condition.
Your water ain't clean either. Just because it's clear doesn't mean it's clean, because that's recycled water from your sink, your toilet, your tub,
If my baby
your laundry.
yeah.
That water go right back into your house. It don't go nowhere and come back and give you clean water.
Yeah, faucet water that you take a shower with and you drink, that's toilet water.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
They tell you.
It's recycled.
It just purified. Let me tell you, if my baby wasn't here, she know and everybody know I'd be in my truck. I'll be camping out. I'm not in the house.
Wow. I thought about buying an RV and doing that too.
I'm in the house to make her comfortable. I do not be in. Y'all see this big ass house I live in? I got a beautiful bedroom, brand new bed. I got 3 refrigerators. I'd rather be outside in the tent. Everybody likes.
I was looking at the tiny houses too. Once I get there, I was looking at all that stuff. I'm serious. I was looking at all that stuff. That's why I started downsizing. I just got sick of society. I'm
just stuff.
Getting there where you are, but I hadn't gotten there just yet. But society, I'm done with society. I am.
You've been hoodwinked and bamboozled that stuff make you important and stuff make you healthy. No, going back to the garden. I'm telling you guys, I literally want to take this clothes off because this clothes ain't nothing but polyester and fake crap.
You shouldn't be wearing that.
Your clothes is making you sick.
Yep, it's true.
When I be home on my ranch, I be walking around naked. I really be like Adam. Now they like, what's the address again? Wait. I be walking around. I be walking around in my shorts.
But yeah, that's true though. We supposed to be wearing linen, silk, cotton, and bamboo. Those are the materials
in the spring,
melanin, we supposed to be wearing those materials. We're not supposed to wear nylon, polyester, rayon. We're not supposed to be wearing those.
This stuff I got on my head, this stuff making you sick. Spring, I'm butt naked on my property. I'm telling you.
We don't need to know that now. We don't need to know all that.
Hey, y'all know how I talk.
We don't need to know all that now. We don't need to know all that now.
Man, I'm telling you.
Somebody coming to visit you.
When these mosquitoes go away and it ain't that hot and it ain't that cold, well, I ain't gonna say that hot. When it ain't that cold, I'm telling you, I love it. Man, I'm telling you. Let me tell y'all, find some woods to go in, butt naked. And be free.
Nature, yeah.
You're gonna cure happy. You're gonna hug a tree.
That energy from the tree gets into you.
Hey, my battery dying. Join me on YouTube.
Okay. All right. Good night. Night. Peace and blessings, everybody.
Okay, love y'all.
Good night. Love you more.
We still live on YouTube. I'm telling y'all, go back to the garden. Go back to the garden. I'm telling y'all.
Yes, honey.
If y'all just go back to the garden, stop going to the doctor's office. Again, this is for entertainment purposes. Y'all do what y'all want to do. Y'all go back to the garden. Y'all sunbathe, go to the beach. I notice a lot of people don't like the beach no more. I don't want to put my foot in the sand. I ain't put my foot in the water. I'm like, this is crazy. And y'all wonder why y'all sick? Y'all don't like nature? Y'all don't like the beach? Y'all don't like water? What the? It's crazy. It's people, they rather sit up in a house and air condition than be outside smelling fresh air. I know a lot of people like that. Cannot take fresh air.
Air out the cookie.
If they ain't in air condition, they rather die. It's a lot of people like that. I'm telling y'all. Y'all know me. I be outside. I be outside. I love it. I go sit down in my truck. Be outside. I love it. Put me in a tent. I love it. I'd probably be one of the only billionaires living in a tent. I'm telling you. Custom tent. I'm telling you, man. Y'all see Elon Musk? They say he live in a boxable. He sold all his houses. Solomon. He was on somebody. Solomon said he gained everything in the world. And the only thing that mattered was the wisdom. And I'm telling y'all, this is all material bullshit. Everything is just material. It just, them Jordans ain't nothing but plastic and rubber. Okay? Y'all be wearing Louis Gucci glasses. It ain't nothing but some lens.
They get it for $9.
You know, y'all got $2,000 TVs damaging your eyes. You pay $2,000 to look at something that's damaging your eye. Them Blu-rays, y'all got $1,000 cell phones. That's why it gonna come a time, I don't know how I'm gonna communicate with y'all, because I don't even want to pick up no damn cell phone. I'm telling y'all, I'm going straight Amish. I'm the blackest Mexican Amish. I'm telling y'all, I'm going straight Amish. Colette said there's nothing wrong with enjoying the finer things in life, I think. Just not to get attached to them, right? People are too attached to material things. And that's why people are sick and dying.
Everything in moderation.
I gotta drive a Rolls Royce. I gotta drive a Mercedes.
A Mercedes could last a lifetime, really.
Oh, she just saying that because she used to drive a Mercedes. I gotta drive a BMW. Man, I take an old pickup truck, anything on wheels. They get me to point A, point B safely and comfortably. I'm straight. I'm telling you.
Yeah. That's right, baby.
Emma said Mercedes can last a long time. Maintenance. I'm telling y'all, man, I ain't mean to stay on here this long, but I'm gonna get off of here. I'm telling y'all, man, get on the land, get y'all land, get y'all. If my father and the neighbors had put together and bought up that land down there in Miami, them 35,000 would be 5 million something. Just 40 years later. Just 40 years later. I'm telling y'all, y'all invest about $4,000 now, that's going to be about $400,000. 20, 30 years. Consider that your retirement. You done. You don't need no Social Security. That's your Social Security. What I'm telling y'all, what I do, it did not even make me lose any comfort in life. I'm actually more comfortable in life.
Right.
Because I could go roll around in the dirt. I could go walk barefoot on my land. I could go hug my trees. I could grow my own food. I've received so many health benefits from being on my own land. Not to mention I have somewhere to live. Nobody can never kick me out. Not to mention I rent my land, so the land gives me income. The land is my doctor. The land is my income. The land is where I live. The land provides my food. Everything is in the land. And I'm going to leave it with that, because this one over here getting hot, and I got to go put out the flame. You know,
love
you know when them
language.
preachers be preaching, them women be getting hot in the butt.
My love language, honey.
What's your love language, baby? Land?
Lay. Bang, bang, bang. Lay.
Bang, bang, bang. Pops, bang, bang, bang. All right, y'all. I love you, man. I love y'all. 754-229-0940. Get in the mastermind. I'm telling you, I'm trying to make 1 million people land owners.
We can push policy like that too.
Yep. 2025, baby, 1 million people. Let's buy up the land. I'm telling you.
And get a voice for real, honey.
And get a voice. Y'all are landowners. Let's say you got a town and y'all could buy up a whole town. Y'all can set policies, make rules and laws in your town. You own half the town. People keep complaining about police brutality and all this stuff. Well, because you don't own nothing. You renting everything over there. I'm surprised how many people I'm out in the country. How many people out here in the country renting? Renting. It's crazy, man. It's just as many people renting out here in the country as it is in the city. Renting. Telling y'all, it's crazy. It don't make no sense. I know so many people got so many health issues right now because they just be sitting up in the house. You got to get outside. You got to get on the land. You got to touch the earth. You got to take rain showers. You got to get on the land, I'm telling you. Get a real voice with land ownership, a real voice. All right, y'all, I love you. Peaceful rest. See you in the rising.
Land, and love, baby.
Land, love. Every minute of every year, millions of dollars come to us now, instantly, effortlessly, naturally now. All right? Love you. Peace. Love you, baby.
Love you, baby.